So now we're going to address any skin blemishes, imperfections, the dark circles under her eyes here, how we go about retouching for that. So I'm going to zoom in here, Command plus, zoom in. You want to always be nice and close. And I'm going to get the spot healing brush tool. So I'm going to select my spot healing brush. I've got a nice soft brush. I'm going to increase the size of it. And I am just going to paint over all of these little imperfections that we keep seeing, okay? And by imperfections, it can be a patch of dry skin, it could be acne, scars, it can be a variety of things, wrinkles. You want to leave beauty marks. It's difficult when someone has a lot of freckles. You don't want to remove their personality, you know, the parts that make them them. So if there's, you know, a freckle that's distracting that isn't going to be noticeably missed, then that's fine, like that one I removed up here. But you don't want to go overboard with that. And so you just want things to look blended. You don't want someone to look at the image and think firsthand, oh, that one was retouched, right? You want it to appear as if it's just that person on a really good day. So what I did here was I increased the size of my brush, and we'll see she's got some white spots, maybe just small sunspots or old acne scars. It's hard to tell, doesn't really matter. But if we don't address them, what we're going to have to deal with is her skin's going to appear blotchy, and we don't want that either. So by going ahead, increasing the size of my brush, taking them out now. Right here's a big one, right there's another big one. There's several of them. We're going to go ahead and just remove those. Here things seem to be looking pretty good. I prefer lots of short, small strokes to doing a big, large area all at once. Another way you can go about dealing with skin imperfections is you can choose the patch tool. Patch tool, I would select the area I want to switch out, and then I drag it over, and it selects the area that I've dragged it to and replaces the original selection. So say I want to replace that one with that, I want to replace this with that, and you can do a lot with that one if you're trying to keep natural patterns. It tends to work really well. And so we'll use the patch tool in a minute when we are retouching hair. So right there, because of the hair patterns, that looks to me like it's a sore, so I'm going to take it out. If I thought it was a beauty mark, I would not do so unless the client specifically asked. Make sure that you discuss things with the clients like retouching before you sit down to retouch your images. You want to make sure that you're doing what they want. I'm going to go back to my spot healing brush. I'm going to reduce the size so that I can come in and take care of some of these areas just quicker. I am going to select my clone brush, and I'm going to get it nice and large, and I'm going to deal with the under eye circles here. I'm going to select an area that's right beside the area that I'm going to be adjusting. I am going to use my Alt key, select that area. I'm going to make sure that my opacity is nice and low, so below 20%. I'm going to set this at 15%, and I'm going to make several slight passes over the area that I'm adjusting. I'm going to come now and I'm going to select an area over here using my Alt, and then I am going to come over to the other side and do the same thing. Select an area here and just paint it across. The thing is, you're wanting it to look natural. You're not trying to make their face look flat. If you go too far with removing all of the under eye circles and all the contouring on the face, their face begins to lose its dimensionality, and you don't want that. So you want to be careful about retaining the integrity of the image. I'm going to take out some of the shininess of her eye right here on the corners. So you want to reduce the shadows like we did up here, but you don't want to remove them. Let's turn our layer off and on, and it doesn't seem like we've been doing a whole lot, but it's quite a marked difference, right? We're just trying to improve the image. We're not trying to change who this person is. Again, we just want someone to look at the image and say, oh, that was a really good day for them, not what a great job the retoucher did on that picture. Right here's another area that we need to address. It's a little too dark. I've got my clone tool. I'm just softening, okay? Just softening it up. I don't want to go too far. All right, I'm going to get my healing brush, and I'm going to address the issues here on the chin. You don't want anybody to be embarrassed when they look at their images. Sometimes you have to spend a little more time making it look right. If it doesn't look right with one tool, then you go grab another tool and you find another way to make it work. I'm going to go in and I'm going to fix the way that looks to make it appear more natural. Over here we have a lot of issues with large pores. Just reduce the opacity down to 15% like I did. And you could just find a nice clear patch of skin and you could start painting in. Now, look where the light is harsher. It enhances all those little imperfections that we have. So you have to be super careful about that. As photographers, we want to be as flattering when lighting our subjects as possible. And you need to also pay attention to it because it can help you if you didn't have this so harshly lit. It could help to reduce the amount of retouching that you're having to then do. So always be planning. And this looks very discolored, and it's hard to tell if it's just because of the lighting or if it's scarring or what the case may be. So we're going to lighten all of these imperfections. Okay, again, I'm using the clone tool and I have it set to about 15% and lightly painting in natural looking skin textures to remove some of the large pores and other skin imperfections that are going on. And if you have one area that you need to spend more time on, then you just go over it more than once. But if you've gone over all of the face and you've removed the large pores, then you've got to do it over the whole thing. You can't skip a spot because it's going to stand out. So once you've done it in one spot, you're committed. You have to do the entire image. Right here we've got some of that harsh pores that we want to remove. And you're going to make mistakes. Just go back and either undo or just paint over it with your clone tool if you made a mistake. Okay, let's focus now on the chin a little bit, okay? We've got lots of areas here that we can just color out. And again, I'm doing lots of selections. I am constantly holding my Alt Option key down, getting a new selection so that I can paint in the area. I do not want it to look like it's repeating. I want it to appear natural. And the way that this looks down here, it's just not flattering. And anytime we zoom in this close on anybody's face, we're going to notice a lot more things than you would just from a normal distance. We're zoomed in at 66%. We're not even zoomed in at 100% right now. So if we were to zoom in at 100%, then we would notice even more things. But we don't look at people that close. You know, when you're viewing a portrait of someone or you're talking to somebody, you're not zoomed in on them super close. So we just need to, again, make this look naturally refined. Okay, and this little bit here that we got going on almost looks like it's got a little bit of texture here we'll get rid of. And you don't ever want to embarrass somebody. we all know what our own imperfections are. So if we can help someone out, make them feel good, that's really what our jobs are all about, is seeing to it that our clients are happy and that they're confident. Right here, what I'm doing is I'm not removing all of the shading. I'm just essentially, by using the clone tool, I'm removing some of that skin texture essentially. Okay, little fine hairs that we have on our face as humans. The skin ended up looking kind of patchy down here, and that's not natural. So going to even that out. Be careful about making your clone tool too large. Just softening that harsh shadow right there. Okay, let's zoom out. Let's see where we're at. Not too bad. Let's do before and after. Before and after. Zoom in. And that concludes retouching her skin. Next, we will be retouching her hair.